did you see out of Jackson Halls in training camp that made you more comfortable with the three tight end sets and just using that when it makes sense? Obviously, there has to be a few things to it, but when it makes sense, why are you so comfortable with that?
Yeah, I think he's so intelligent that he can handle a lot on his plate. He doesn't really get phased by anything, which is impressive. I think the tight end position is such a difficult position to learn early because you have to. I know it's a dumb thing, but all the nuances in the run game, but then also having to learn the pass game, regardless of hey, this might be plays that Dalton and Dawson are the ones probably going to be running, but I have to learn them in training camp. And man, his ability to just process it all and be able to play fast and not get phased when it doesn't go as well and just learn from it. Everything that the reason we drafted him, he's able to kind of handle it, and it's been good the last couple of weeks. He's got some catches, which getting those under, but we have all the confidence in Halsey. And look, it's a long season, right? There's going to be ups and downs, but his personality, his approach, how he kind of handles himself makes life a lot easier for us, and all the trust in the world for him.
Add flexibility wise to the offense of just, knowing that you have that another way to do things.
Yeah, I think, look, we still obviously play with the jumbo, and that's in every game that's going to be different. And so it allows us to, it allows from a defensive coordinator position, they have to always prepare for that, right? And whether we go three tight ends, whether we still continue to utilize our jumbo, mixed in different type of 12 personnel groupings, just his versatility and him being able to handle that allows us to kind of do a lot of different things. And, it's something that as the season goes, we hope that it continues to evolve.
What did you make out of what Mitch was able to do yesterday, particularly when he came in just for the 2 snaps? Obviously came back later, but that part of the game.
Yeah, look, it's you guys know how hard it is to play quarterback in the NFL and to come in on the road in a critical 3rd and long. It's not like he got a opportunity to hey, let's just take a quick little snap. No opportunity for any of that. And it wasn't a 1st and 10 where you might be able to sneak a run in there and boom, he comes in, gets to a man alert and lets it rip with an absolute dime. And it kind of that's why he's here, right? He's played a lot of reps. He's a starting quarterback in the NFL, and we're fortunate to have him as our backup. And in those opportunities, he doesn't blink. I got all the confidence in him in those moments to, hey, I'm not packing it in. That's why he's here in those moments. And he made an incredible play, great decision, and that was huge for us, huge part in the game.
Do you feel short yardage went for you this week compared to week 1?
Yeah, look, we had a couple opportunities to go for it on 4th downs, right, in the 4-down situations. The previous week, I think some of those, when it happens fast, sometimes you get a feel of is it 3rd and 1, is it 3rd and 2, is it a 3rd and 1.5? With some of those situations and some of the play calls, when they happen fast. Like I said last week, when we're able to convert those and stay on the field, good things happen, and that's what kind of happened yesterday. We had a couple 4th and shorts that we were able to convert, and especially when you got 2 downs in those situations. I was pleased with the performance. Obviously, we get in 3rd and 1s. I'd like to be able to convert those. We had the 3rd and 4. The 4-down situation where we didn't get anything and then had to kick a field goal. But outside of that, I was pleased with us being able to take advantage of them and convert the 1st down.
Jet sweep to Elijah to start the game. Later, you fake that, a nice run, and then you go back to it later. How much can that really kind of keep a defense off balance when you can execute the actual handoff and the fake handoff?
Yeah, I think a lot of times I don't believe in eye candy. There's intent and reason behind everything that we're doing with motions and shifts, and but there also has to be a time and a place where they're like, hey, he can get the ball. Right? Are we just doing these jet motions, but we're not actually? They don't have to respect it, and so I think it's important, especially early in the season, for them to, for him to get carries, and they're good plays and things that we want, and we're getting into the correct looks, and we got all the trust in Elijah to do good things with the ball in his hands, and but now for the rest of the season, they obviously have to respect, there's that possibility, so. I think the versatility that we have with the offense, I think makes our offense go, and adding that to our offense was a critical element.
That you noticed differently about Josh's mentality coming into this season? Obviously, he but was there anything different about how you felt like he was approaching this season coming into it?
No, I think Josh won the MVP last year, and when he came back in the offseason, he knew that he left plays out there, and there was room for him to get better and grow. And but at the same time, all he cares about is winning, right? So yesterday, we ran the ball. Game one, we threw the ball, but we found different ways to win. And he was just, besides the fact his nose didn't look too pretty, he was ecstatic for the win. And his approach doesn't change. He's always looking for ways to get better and find ways to improve. And even from the nuances of just how his throwing mechanics to processing some of the plays. I don't think you become as elite of a player as he is without wanting to just continue to get better. And there's no complacency with him, and that's why our offense and our team is that same way. Because if you see your best player with that, it's hard to have any other. It's hard to do anything else if you're a player on our football team.
To a lot of guys about Josh, what comes up is like how consistent he is and like how he doesn't like change too much. How important is that in someone like Josh?
Yeah, I mean, look, in the biggest moments, you know who he's going to be because he's the same person in these moments, and we're having a walkthrough. And he has an incredible ability to understand where the team is, where the guys are, how to reach them, how to communicate with them. And everybody in this organization, in this city, knows that good things are going to happen with him as our quarterback and has all the faith in him. So he keeps our organization light. But yeah, he's it's pretty easy calling plays for him. Don't get me wrong, but even in the moments where it's like, hey man, this is a stressful moment, knowing that he's consistent and the moment's never going to be too big for him and he's going to be the same person, allows us and everybody in the huddle to feel the same way.
Mentioning elite players there when you were talking about Josh, when you look at James Cook's production over the last year and a half here, up to and including yesterday, I mean, it's certainly elite would be the word that kind of describes it. Do you feel like he gets, maybe enough recognition for what he does and what he means for this offense? No, I don't. But part of what makes us go is we don't really care about the recognition. When we talk about the everybody eats, like it's not about the recognition. It's about us just doing our job and celebrating each other's successes. And one of my favorite moments from the Baltimore game was when we scored at the end, or when we had the big play to Keon, and then the big play to Josh, and then to Keon. You can see on the TV copy James Cook, the one celebrating with them, and he wasn't even on the field, and he came onto the field to celebrate one. So all he cares about is winning. And so we go from a game that we didn't run the ball well in week one, to then him having the big game. It speaks all about his character and kind of who he is. And I know he kind of got hit for it sometimes with the hold-in, but the guy's an absolute worker. He's a baller. When the ball's in his hands, good things happen. I think sometimes the running back position, people don't value it as much. We do. There's a reason he obviously earned this contract. But look, James just all he cares about is us winning football games. And if recognition comes, but he wants to do whatever we can to help. And we're a better football team when he's out there, that's for sure. How big is it for the offense when Josh has, by his lofty standards, a fairly pedestrian statistical game, but you still put up 30 points and, you can win with a dominant run game, and James is certainly the guy leading that way.
No, that's real, and that's what I tell the guys. It's like, now when it comes to Josh, like there was a lot of hidden yardage out there yesterday that, was a big challenge to our guys coming off the Baltimore game on some of those, the deep over routes of us being able to, how we were running the routes and cleaning those up, and we got a lot of PIs and holding yesterday that don't show up in the stats, but were kind of game-changing plays. But from a run game standpoint, when we can show different ways to win football games, especially early in the year, right? We're trying to figure out who we're going to be, and I know that's you should know, but we're in the process of figuring out our identity, new pieces, seeing how teams are playing us, how we're going to be, and when you have game one, when you show the ability to come from behind and throw the ball, and then game two, you show the ability to run the ball. I think it puts a little stress on defenses as they're going into the week of, hey, what are we looking to stop? And then hoping that we make the adjustments and have the ability to figure out how that game's going to get played, and we've shown that we can win different ways.
Play caller standpoint, sometimes It looked like the sequence where James scored. Maybe it was even the same play twice in a row. I'm sure there's a nuance in there, but maybe not.
No.
Okay, so take me into that. Is that like, hey, it's working, let's go? Is it something you philosophically think, hey, this is something going into a game you might want to lean on a little bit? How does that go?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not always going to repeat plays, but there's nothing wrong with repeating plays, right? If it's not broken, you don't have to fix it. And look, there's always going to come a point when it's like, okay, but if we don't feel like there's an adjustment being made, or we feel like, hey, even we know what the potential next adjustment is, or let's make them make the adjustments in drive. Why wait till we get to the sideline to come back to the play? Let's stay with it. And so, we've shown both in the run in the past that we'll continue to run the same play, or making sure we have the nuances or whatever the next where it looks like that, and be able to get to the next thing. And so. But yeah, I have no issues doing it, and when it's working, I think we all have a tendency. I've had a tendency before, and I still do, to a point where a play is good and I check it off, and I realize, like, hey, why didn't I come back to that play? So I try to pride myself on trying to come back to it, and sometimes it's coming back to it the next play.
Like a mental component on the opponent's end of, hey, they're running this over and over on us and it's still working. Like, is that something that matters when you're going back to a play?
No, I think you don't really think about it in the moment. I think after the fact, I don't think it's just like if a defense was doing the same blitz to us and getting home every time, that would frustrate the heck out of us, right? So it's not about, we don't think about it like, hey, what is the mindset that it brings to the defense? It's more of if we feel like it's a play that, and sometimes the plays work, but we didn't block it correctly, and it's not like, hey, we had a big gain, but we missed the block and we made a guy miss, and it's like, all right, I'm not coming right back to the next one. But if it was executed the right way, there's no reason not to. And if make them make the adjustments, I trust our guys.
Mentioned afterward that he met with you. I think it was maybe in the locker room, but you guys haven't had a ton of time because of the condensed schedule to catch up. But he said you talked about lamenting some missed opportunities in 2 and 4 in the red zone. Third down numbers were maybe a little low. What do you think went into some of that?
Yeah, I think I thought we had an opportunity to put the game away early in the red zone. The way our defense was outstanding, and we had a couple third down opportunities that we didn't take advantage of in the red zone. Those 4-point plays, like, that's the difference of NFL football, is when you kick field goals in the red zone, you keep teams in the game. When you score touchdowns, it can change a game from 6-0 to 14-0. It can change a game from 9-0 to 21-0, and it feels completely different. And so that's obviously something we have to do a better job. And on the third down situations, I think we had a couple third downs that I thought the guys did a good job, and we got the penalties. Like, I consider those as wins. I know they don't show up, but I thought penalties hurt us in the first half. We had a few that next thing you know we're behind the chains. We're in a manageable situation, and so we have a lot that we have to clean up, and we got a short amount of time to do it. But I think the fact that we were able to put together 30 points and not play to the standard that we feel like we should is encouraging. And our guys came in knowing that we got to continue to get better.
A short turnaround. How do you clean some of those things up in such a condensed schedule like this with a Thursday game this week?
Yeah, I think I started my unit meeting today with, I'm a big believer in, we call it smoke detectors. Like, let's not wait for the house to catch on fire to check your smoke detectors, right? And we put a ball on the ground yesterday. We had some penalties. We had some protection issues, and so let's point it out before we say, oh, hey, now we turn the ball over. Now let's show that, or hey, that's why we lost the football game. We protect the football, good things are going to happen. And so before we can just move on, we gotta talk about the things that we gotta improve on, regardless of the result. We got the type of guys on our football team that I didn't even have to say it; they kind of knew it. Awesome, thank you guys.